All right, everybody. So we've just watched Adichie, and then we've broken into groups. We've talked about some of the things that she's brought up, issues with stereotyping, and um, issues with how we think about people in terms of either one story or a lot of stories. The other thing I had you guys focus on was how she actually presented her work. So she was on stage at a TED conference, and she had a certain presence about her that is sort of similar to what we see in a classroom like this, but there are a little bit of differences. She was behind a podium, for instance. We are about to create our own TED Talk response to what we've just watched. And we are going to do that by using these handy dandy video cameras that we got from the library and getting into pairs. So once you get into your partnership, once you have found a partner and you're in a pair, the next thing that you're going to want to do is start talking about what you want your responses to look like. Now, even though you're in partners for filming purposes, each of your responses is going to be its own thing. And so if one of you really, really liked Adichie and the other one of you really didn't care for Adichie, that's fine. But your ultimate goal is to come up with a short response. You should shoot for talking about her video for 1 to 2 minutes. As far as what's in your response, that is going to be totally up to you. So let's get our instructions on the board. So we need to get, that's right, in pairs. And then after that, formulate a response, correct? Formulate a response. Okay, cool. So we're going to get in pairs, we're going to formulate our response, and then the next step is to film it. And so we'll break up around the room and give each other a little bit of space. It's okay if there's a little bit of background noise, because we're in a classroom setting, so it's going to be expected. But I'm going to ask that if you are not actively being filmed, that you try to be quiet, so that way those that are being filmed can get their point across as clearly as possible. All right, so there we go. Next is to film our response. Once you've filmed your response, we're all going to reconvene and we're going to sit down at our computers. And from there, as a class, we'll work through this together. But our goal is going to be to upload our responses to YouTube. And I will show you guys how to make those responses private or unlisted if you don't want everybody outside of our class to have access to those. If you do want people to have access to your response, that's fine as well. We know that YouTube has video responses, so if you want to put your speaking into the public sphere out to the world, then you're more than welcome to do so. Okay, so we're going to upload to YouTube. And here's where the next very important step comes in. So we've got our videos uploaded to YouTube. Now we're going to have to give them a couple minutes, and YouTube is going to auto caption what we've said, right? So YouTube is going to auto caption. For your final assignment of the day, you are going to work with your partner and practice those same active listening skills that we used to understand Adichie's TED Talk in order to go through and correct the captions that YouTube provides. Now, YouTube is getting better and better at captioning videos. They really are. But they're not perfect. And because we're all still practicing proper speaking habits, including like our volume and our pronunciation and our emphasis, there's a chance that YouTube's captions are going to contain some errors. I actually find it highly unlikely that YouTube will get it 100% right any of the time, regardless of who the speaker is. So in our pairs, we're going to be going through both of our videos, and we're going to be using YouTube's Edit Captions feature to add in everything that might be missing or words that might be a little bit off sounding. For example, let's say you were to use the sentence, I have an opinion. That's a straightforward sentence, but because we're still working on our speaking and because YouTube is an imperfect platform, then you might see this. You might see the words, I have been working. Apologies. I think that I changed our sentence for us. I think it was, I have an opinion, but now I've changed it to, I have been working. But there's a good chance that what YouTube will capture when you say have, if you are not emphasizing that V enough, YouTube will very likely change it to something that sounds really similar, like half. So we are going to have to do a little bit of double duty. Your primary goal, as you guys are editing, is to listen to what the speaker is saying and then make sure the words reflect what is said. So you'll want to pay really close attention with your ears, and then from there, look down at the subtitles YouTube has generated and see if there are any corrections that need to be made on your end. That's what we're going to do to end our day today. And again, I'm going to come around and we'll go step by step through this. So if you run into any difficulties, I'm happy to help. We're going to make sure that we have this computer lab tomorrow, because tomorrow we are actually going to present our videos to the class. We're going to present our short responses. So you want to make sure that today you try your best to project your voice and enunciate and practice your good speaking habits, and then use those good listening habits to really get those captions down pat. Tomorrow we'll give each other peer feedback and we'll help evaluate each other using those videos. Great, let's get started.